Welcome to the Connecting with DZ video series. Our next topic is work and faith. Integrating spiritual practices into one's approach to work can be difficult. Culturally, we seem to be moving to separate these spheres of our lives more and more. How should our beliefs impact our lives generally and our work specifically? Today we will talk with DZ on his approach to integrating work and faith.
Great. I know at one point you told me some stories about how you would have routine breakfasts with spiritual care as a department. Where did that come from, and what did you gain from that?
Yeah, so a couple of us at the hospital happened to be have connections with people from pastoral care, and so we decided to have a monthly coffee once a month and just chat. And so it became a pretty important part, at least from my perspective, to get together. They just were looking at the healthcare system completely different than I was from an administrator or a scientific or a pharmacy. And so it was just a kind of a good refresher. There's a whole lot more going on. And this group of people sees it in a tough situation. End of life, constantly dealing with that. People that just got really bad news. And so to be kind of the tie between what they were doing was just a kind of an eye-opener, and I think a constant reminder of why I'm there, you know, and so how do you bring those two together? So it was just a good ongoing, 7 o'clock I think it was Wednesday morning once a month.
Now, our beliefs can impact how we approach difficult situations, particularly at work. Sometimes we go through trials, both in life and in our workplaces. How do you think faith and getting through trials are connected, and how are trials important?
Yeah, so I guess I can tell you, at one stretch in my life, I had a pretty tough, I got hit pretty hard 4 times, all in a few months. First, my father-in-law died. He'd been sick for a little while, but not very long. Then my dad died. He'd only been sick 24 hours. And then my brother-in-law, my wife's twin's husband, got killed in a plane crash and left 3 little kids. And then the last one was a fellow that worked for me, 33 years old, massive coronary, on a soccer with his 2 kids playing the soccer field. All of those came almost simultaneously, very short period of time. And so suddenly, from families, I knew them all in all the circumstances. And so, you got your daily work activity, but you got this, it's 24/7. So, you suddenly realize, hey, there's something big going on in life. And so I think that kind of framed, you're going to hit these. And every time you get one, it's to train you, how do you manage the next one better? Mm-hmm. And so life is a kind of a constant training, and the tough times is when you learn a lot the fastest, but the most painful.
Yeah.
And so, but when you look back at it, time kind of heals all. You go through the grieving process, week by week, it gets better and better. So as long as you know that, experience it, you can help other people when they hit those phases in life, which we all do and all will.
When you had the subordinate, 33 years old, die unexpectedly of a heart attack, as a leader, how did you respond? How did you handle that? Yeah, so
I was mowing the lawn when I got the call from the emergency department that one of my people that reported to me was in the ED with a massive heart attack. So I went in and met with the physician. He said, this is probably irreversible, probably nothing we can do. And so that department that reported to me, I knew some of the people, but not really well. I knew that they existed and the like. And so then his wife asked me to be there when they turned off the ventilator. And so there were 2 respiratory therapists there at that time. And I thought, wow, I watched them and I said, this is going to be a kind of a tough thing, because he was really well-liked, really a very nice guy, and just hitting his prime. So I decided to go to every change of shift meeting for 3 days with that entire staff, what was ever on their mind. And so, there was a small department, so there wasn't delegation, a lot of things. So, one person's going to take care of the equipment, another person scheduling. I'll work with so-and-so with the medical staff until, we get through this. So I did that 3 shifts a day for 3 or maybe it was 4 days. And then, you kind of get, after the funeral, things kind of settled into an equilibrium. So that's, and I don't know what possessed me to do it at the time. It just said, this is probably what you should do. And it happened on a weekend, so there was nobody around to talk to Saturday or Sunday, during this difficult time.
Well, time with leaders like DZ should not only be informational and inspirational, but it should also bring us joy. So to that regard, I have one question for you, DZ. Why do people sometimes refer to you as the bullet?
Well, I had a fairly fast pace, went around the hospital, so people sort of saw me as speedy. That was one thing. Another, people thought me a little erratic, and so they never know quite where I was going to ricochet off of something, and they might get caught in it. So, and it was actually a pharmacy resident that gave me the title, the Bullet, and he passed away this last year or so, and he still called me Bullet the last time we talked. So it's kind of stuck with me.
It's a nickname that stuck with you for close to 40 years.
Yep, 4 decades. Yeah, I have some other nicknames that we won't get into as well.